I would now like to give the floor to Mr. Jean-Pierre Lacroix.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, Excellencies, thank you very much, first of all, for providing me with this opportunity to discuss ways to strengthen, sharpen, and re-energize our approach to the triangular dialogue and cooperation between the Security Council, troop and police contributing countries, and the Secretariat. We've come a long way since 2001, when the Security Council, in the wake of the Brahimi report, called for improving the relationship between the Security Council, troop contributing countries, and the Secretariat. I quote, in order to foster a spirit of partnership, cooperation, confidence, and mutual trust. Strong triangular cooperation is a crucial factor to enhance peacekeeping operations. It is particularly relevant today as the Secretary General's Action for Peacekeeping initiative is aimed at fostering collective solutions to deal with the challenges that peacekeeping face. The common work of the Security Council, the troop and police contributing countries, and the Secretariat, along with other stakeholders, will be key to ensure continued progress. This applies to many areas of peacekeeping. Improving the safety and security of our peacekeepers is one of them. As we are continuously working to implement the action plan on the security of UN peacekeepers, such strong cooperation enables us to better identify the gaps and define solutions to the challenges our peacekeepers face on the ground. These benefits apply as well to our efforts on performance, for which the mobilization of Council members has been significant. As we are working as a priority to implement Resolution 2436, adopted last September under the United States presidency, continuous engagement from Council members as well as TCCs and PCCs will be crucial to achieve lasting progress. This is, for instance, the case with the Comprehensive Performance Assessment System, CPAS. As we continue to roll it out and implement it in an increasing number of our missions, we need the feedback, support, and engagement of the Security Council and the troop and police contributing countries so that it can best respond to the needs and be most efficient and useful to all. In many areas critical to performance, such as training, mindset, or equipment, a triangular approach can yield strong results. Mechanisms such as the light coordination mechanism or the triangular partnership project are, to some extent, concrete manifestation of the spirit of triangular cooperation. Mandates can also strongly benefit from the perspectives and experiences of troop and police contributors present on the ground in order to make them more focused, adapted, and achievable. These are only a few areas among many when triangular cooperation is essential to the effectiveness of peacekeeping. Today, a number of mechanisms exist to facilitate consultations among the Security Council, troop and police contributing countries, and the Secretariat. These include the formal and informal consultations of the Council with troop and police contributing countries, the Security Council Working Group on Peacekeeping, and the Military Staff Committee. Outside of the Council, the General Assembly Special Committee on Peacekeeping Operations is, of course, an important forum of discussion involving Council members and troop and police contributing countries. The A4P Declaration of Shared Commitments, which has been endorsed by every Security Council member here, calls on us all to implement existing intergovernmental commitments on triangular cooperation. As member states decide to take up the role A4P champions, their diversity and their common work will provide a further illustration of the relevance of triangular cooperation in each of the thematic areas of A4P. Today's meeting is therefore timely, not least because the third Chiefs of Defense Conference, which is being held at the United Nations tomorrow, represents a further critical opportunity to realize this triangular cooperation, involving TCCs and PCCs at the most senior levels of their uniformed forces to consult with each other and with the Secretariat. Monsieur le Président.
Mr. President, given the relevance of triangular cooperation to the effectiveness of peacekeeping operations as I just described, I would like to share some thoughts on how we can work together collaboratively to strengthen triangular cooperation. As we build on the gains, strengths, and the contributions of each and every one, we can work together to ensure that this cooperation can realize its full potential. First of all, the Secretariat stands ready to lend all its support to any more institutionalized system for formal and informal exchanges between the Council and the Secretariat and the TPCCs. Such exchanges can be useful throughout the life cycle of a mission when it comes to renewal, the mandate, of course, but also at any time when the mission is encountering particular problems or challenges or following strategic reviews. Such meetings can encourage candid, open, and interactive debate between partners in this triangle. This dialogue is all the more effective when it combines formal and informal, and I'm thinking here the practice developed by the New Zealand during its mandate in the Security Council, or where a member of the Council organized informal and interactive consultations with TPCCs, which proved useful and appreciated. If we are to contribute to the success of this type of meeting, my department will therefore continue to participate actively in these consultations, work with all interlocutors, and to share its expertise in preparing and conducting consultations. But I'd also like to encourage member states to continue to strengthen triangular cooperation through council meetings dealing with cross-cutting subjects dealing with peacekeeping, such as this meeting. Such meetings are very useful because they enable us to fine-tune our approach and our shared understanding of current challenges and priorities to be pursued. And I'm thinking, for example, of the debate organized in May by the Indonesian presidency on training and strengthening capacity, which helped us to look in depth at our common analysis of this. I'm also thinking of visiting missions, which are meaningful opportunities to have exchanges with our peacekeepers, troop and police alike, and to take stock of progress in implementation of the A4P and its concrete impact on the ground. And I'm also thinking of the Security Council's working group on peacekeeping. And here I'd like to pay tribute to Côte d'Ivoire that has been heading this up for a year and a half. The working group has organized very useful meetings on core issues such as women in peacekeeping, protecting civilians, or host state relations. And as a host state itself and as a contributor of troops and police, Côte d'Ivoire is bringing its unique perspective to the Security Council. More generally, I'd like to speak to the pivotal role of members of the Council who are also TPCCs and member states, of course, Mr. Chenrell, are at the very heart of triangular cooperation and can play a key role through this type of meeting and visit.
Encourage delegates to consider expanding the triangular cooperation on occasion as required to ensure successful mandate implementation. The A4P Declaration of Shared Commitments includes commitments to, and I quote, enhance collaboration and planning between the UN and relevant international, regional, sub-regional organizations and arrangements, as well as to consider options for further direct engagement between host governments and the Security Council. In many contexts, peacekeeping missions are likely to benefit from more consistent and closer engagement between the Security Council and the host government. And, as this Council is very aware, partnerships with regional and sub-regional organizations is increasingly key for the efficiency of peacekeeping. For African Union operations authorized by the Security Council, we're in fact already seeing a form of quadrilateral cooperation between the Security Council, TCCs, the UN Secretariat, and the African Union, including its Peace and Security Council and its Commission. Security Council meetings on the cooperation with regional and sub-regional organizations are of particular value by fostering common analysis of situations and joint thinking on initiatives or actions to be undertaken. The open debates organized recently on cooperation between the United Nations and the African Union, for instance, most recently in February 2019 by Equatorial Guinea on the AU initiative on silencing the guns in Africa, have been very useful to bring to light how this partnership can help tackle current challenges. Finally, on the Secretariat's part, we welcome the substantive engagement from troop and police contributing countries during our meetings and the value of more meaningful dialogue between the Security Council and troop and police contributing countries. We commit to continuing our efforts to regularly brief TCCs and PCCs and provide information in a timely manner related to developments on the ground and critical security incidents, for instance. My department also stands ready to provide useful information, including on ongoing challenges, conflict analysis and risk assessments, and to discuss mandate options before an operation is authorized or renewed. I look forward to hearing today from our member state partners about other ways that this cooperation, including on the Secretariat side, can be strengthened further. We remain committed to working together with all of you here, both security members and troop and police contributing countries, to ensure that mechanisms for triangular cooperation are robust and dynamic. In the spirit of action for peacekeeping, we look forward to strengthen triangular cooperation that will contribute to the renewal of our collective engagement. Thank you, Mr. President.